No matter which field of human endeavour you pick, you will find that you will have to get on with other people, and it can be a bit of a pain. Now, you may be a great mover and shaker in the world of lighthouse keeping, but even you are not a fully independent unit. Even you have to persuade someone else to let you be a lighthouse keeper, and even you can't be lighthouse keeping all the time. You'll have to relieve someone as he comes off shift, and if you don't get on with him, then one day he'll leave you a rather nasty little surprise. Yes, even you, though you may not want to be, are a team player. And in this life, people will constantly be trying to form alliances with us, and they will say that it's for mutual benefit, right? Oh, if you do well, I do well. We have the same goals. Our motivations are in perfect alignment. But they are wrong. Pretty much always wrong. And that's what this video is about. Now, years ago, I got suckered into joining a multi-channel network for a short while, an MCN as they are known. It's a company that acts sort of as your agent for a YouTuber, and they will suck you in with little baubles like free access to audio libraries and so forth. You can get those things in other ways. Don't be suckered in by that. They will take 15-20% of your money and they will do pretty much nothing. They will say to you, we've been watching your channel and we've noticed that you've got potential for growth, and if you sign with us, we say that in a year's time we guarantee that you will have grown by at least this much. They picked you because they already noticed that you were growing, and you were growing because you're making a load of quite good videos. So as long as you carry on making quite good videos, you're going to grow anyway, and they will take the credit. But if you stop, they will say, well, you stopped making videos, and so they will have an explanation. They win either way, and they will get their percentage. Don't join a multi-channel network. They will say, we know how to run a YouTube channel. Nobody knows how to run a YouTube channel. It's too young a medium, for one thing, but also YouTube channels are all very different from each other, and YouTube itself keeps moving the goalposts anyway. So a few months down the line, your income is very likely to just crash, as mine has done several times. And every other YouTuber I know has complained that, my income has gone down by 2/3 in a week. How did that happen? I was doing fine for years and then suddenly I fell off a cliff. Well, YouTube moves the goalposts, and then those goalposts having moved, everyone on YouTube goes, what are we doing now? And they all start experimenting and doing different things, and the great massive change in behavior changes the effect of the algorithm, and the whole of YouTube changes, and maybe your income starts going back up again, and then they realize, how can we stop paying people money? And they work out another way not to give you any money, and your income falls off a cliff again. Don't join a multi-channel network. And though I would be nothing without YouTube, I'm a team player with YouTube. YouTube and I, we're like that sort of, only we're not, because YouTube's motivations and my motivations are not in perfect alignment. It's always an uneasy, wary alliance of two separate parties making their way through this complicated world. I can remember going to a meeting at BAFTA headquarters down in London. This was years ago when I just first got 100,000 subscribers. And so it was a meeting for people who had all broken through the 100,000 subscriber barrier that year. Tom Scott was there, and we talked briefly. I suggested a collaboration. He wasn't interested. But anyway, someone on the stage there made the statement that nobody should join a multi-channel network. They claim to be on your side, but they're not. Got a huge round of applause. A while later, I had a YouTube meeting. This was an online thing. So there we all are looking at our Zoom or Skype or whatever it was screens. And there was this young, hyper-enthusiastic person from YouTube who was telling us, excitedly about all these amazing new innovations that YouTube was bringing in and how it was going to be great for everybody. It was going to bring loads of more people onto YouTube. It was going to grow their channels way faster and really push them hard. And so they do well and everybody wins. Apart from us, at that meeting, we were all established YouTube channels, and we were thinking to ourselves quietly, hang on, this just means a much smaller slice of the cake for us. So we're all losers here. We're not winning. Are we winning out? Am I misunderstanding what this guy is saying? Does he not himself understand what he is saying? At the end of the meeting, I said to him, now I know you called this meeting and you set up this Zoom room or whatever it was, But could you leave it running so that, I understand you have to go, your hour is up, but can we just talk amongst ourselves for a bit? That would be, I think, useful. And he said naively, yeah, I can do that. Okay, great. It's been great, everyone. Bye. And off he went, still packed with enthusiasm, but possibly thinking to himself, they didn't seem as enthusiastic as I was expecting. It turned out, when the conversation carried on, that we were all thinking the same thing. This is terrible for us. Did this guy have no inkling at all of how we see this? But it seems that he really genuinely didn't. He couldn't see that our motives and his, or YouTube's, were not in perfect alignment. Now, I can give more examples. Maybe you're an actor. And you need a theatrical agent, or you could be a freelancer of any sort, I suppose. You could be a freelance, I don't know, botanist. Get in, get out, wherever there's trouble, a man alone, got your own van. But let's go with an actor. So, why did you become an actor in the first place? Well, possibly because you want the fame and the money. If that's true, then you're an idiot, because very few actors become famous, and most actors are just scraping by, possibly with a couple of side jobs to keep things going. 90% of the money paid to actors goes to about 10% of actors. And even within that 10%, most of that money goes to the top few. Yes, if you are an A-list Hollywood celeb and you get to do all the chat shows and so forth, and they put your face on the poster, yours and yours alone, then you are earning big bucks. But you are so exceptional, it's hardly even worth mentioning you. But despite that, loads of people want to become actors. So why is this? Because they love it. They love acting. They want to act. They want to hone their craft. They want to interact with an audience. They want to get to grips with a really meaty part. They love working with other actors and directors. They love being in a theatre. They love being on a movie set. Whatever it is, they love the job. So they want to do it. And imagine that a role comes up for someone with a touring repertory company, and they're going to be doing several plays, including a few Shakespeare's really meaty roles. And because it's a very small company, each actor has to double up several roles. So you're going to get to play loads of roles, really good ones. And it's a 6-month tour, and they're going to go all around the country, all to tiny little places, going to go out to the Orkneys and play in tiny little church halls and community centres, really bringing it out there to the communities out there. And the people will be so grateful because so few theatre companies go out that far. But you'll be doing it. You'll be working with your fellow actors. The camaraderie and the anecdotes you'll get out of it, all the terrible digs they put you up in. Or maybe there's some really nice places you get to stay and the remarkable things that happen. And the intensity every night. What other job is like it? Because everything, when you're acting on a stage, everything has to go right now, and the whole team is involved. There's that silent moment where you are on the stage and you know everyone is looking at you, and a pin could drop, and the lighting man has to be absolutely on cue, and the sound mixing has got to be just right, and the stage manager ready with the curtain, and you've got to get your lines just right. You can't say, "Oh no, actually, sorry, we fluffed that. Can we go back and do it again?" No, you can't. You have to do it now. Everything has to happen now. The intensity of that you don't get from other jobs, and you're honing your craft, and you have a great love for the craft. So you want to do that. So you become an actor. That part has come up. Great! But your agent doesn't give it to you. Why not? You signed up with an agent to get you acting parts, right? And this is right up your street. It's because your agent does not want to make this telephone call. Hello? Yes, speaking? Yes! Yes, absolutely, yes. I saw that role. Yes, and I have exactly the guy for that role. It's what's that? Okay, it's a 2-day shoot. 2-day shoot. Yeah, that's what it said. An advert, and it's the money, by the way, is very nice indeed. Absolutely, he is. Wait a minute. Right, I'm afraid he's in the Outer Hebrides at the moment and won't be available for another 4.5 months. I mean, possibly you could fly him back, but I don't know how much trouble that would be. Would you? When's the shoot? Oh, well, then I suppose I can't help you there. I know it's a very specific part, isn't it? I mean, hardly anyone else could. Yeah. Well, I suppose you could try Jeffrey. By the way, while I've got you on the line, are you going to this year's... Ching, he doesn't want that phone call. He wants this phone call. Hello? Yeah? Yes. Oh, I saw that. Yeah, the 2-day shoot, the advert. Very nice money. Possibly we could push it a little bit, but we'll talk about the money later. Yeah? Uh-huh. Absolutely, yes. I'm just checking now. Yeah, he's available. Yeah, absolutely. He'll do it. I'll get onto him right away. Thanks. It's great. Yeah, we must work again. Bye. Ching. That's the call he wants to make. But how can he make sure that that's the call that he gets to make loads of? Because by making loads of those calls, he gets to be really rich and get invited to loads more really swanky parties. Well, he has lots of actors on his books, preferably good ones, of course, quite diverse, so that when that call comes in, there's someone on his books who will fit that role and will be available now. He doesn't want you acting somewhere for a pittance. If he gets a tiny percentage of a pittance, he's not worth his while. He wants a percentage of a big amount of money and many times. So he wants to keep you available at all times for when that call comes in, so that one of you, which mostly won't be you, but one of you, one of the people on his books, will fill that role, and that's what he makes money from. So his motivations aren't acting and the craft. No, it's money and connections. That's what he's in it for. Your motivations don't align. And it's even possible that your theatrical agent could be more directly an enemy even than that. I was talking to an actor who had a rather sad tale to tell me of an actor friend of his whose career really looked as though it was going places and then didn't. Now, he was a good actor and he had star quality, star potential. There was a sort of intensity about him, a sort of a physicality that made people think, oh, he is, leading man potential. This guy could be really big. And he was just starting to get noticed. I think he had an agent at this point already, but after one particularly successful show, he was approached by another agent, and this was a big hitter. Oh yeah, this guy went to the swankiest parties and ate the best canapes and really knew what to do with a gin and tonic. And he was able to say, well, I represent all these people. Look, I have this guy, this lady, these major A-listers, including this particular really huge A-lister. And he thought, I'll sign. I've made it. Woohoo, he thought. Oh, yes, my career's going to take off. Now I've got this guy representing me. Ah, yes. But he was wrong. He got a few parts, but they were sort of parts. And it took him a couple of years to work out what was going on. What was going on was this. You see, also on this agent's books was another actor whose career was really taking off, and he had a sort of intensity about him and a sort of physicality very similar to this other actor that he saw on that stage that night. Now, I've said before that 90% of the money goes to 10% of the actors, and if you've got one of the fraction of the top percent, if you've got the big A-lister star, the sort of person that does all the chat shows and they put his image and his alone on the poster for the movie, he is the box office draw, that guy, you're minted. You're absolutely minted. If that actor makes £100 million over 5-6 years doing several films, and you're getting 15% of that, that's £15 million! For what? Going to the right party and making a couple of phone calls. 15 million. Fan-bleeding-tastic. You've made it. But you must look after that cash cow. You must protect the career of that cash cow at all costs, because this is your pension on the line. So, when you see another actor who's exactly the sort of actor who's likely to be put forward for exactly the same parts that might be given to your guy, how do you stop him getting the part? If he's got another agent, then that agent will send him to the same audition and they'll be direct rivals to each other. Got it. You sign him onto your books and then send him to different auditions. for stuff that'll get you to allow you to pay the rent, but will just sort of keep you just sort of jogging on and busy, out of the way, and not available specifically for the parts that your big star's available for. So that's what had happened. It took him quite a long time to realise this. His career was being quashed by his own agent in order to promote the cash cow. So the alignment of motivation of agent and of actor was really, really askew in that case. It's a sad tale. And there are other agents who will say to you, oh, our motivations are in perfect alignment. Our goals are the same. Look, if I sell your house for a large amount of money, I get a cut as an estate agent of that large amount of money. So I make more money. So I have a strong vested interest in selling your house for as much as I can possibly get for it. Okay, so sign here. But economists have actually looked at the behavior of estate agents, and their behavior is not consistent with that. It turns out that estate agents spend quite a lot longer and put far more effort into selling their own homes rather than the homes of other people. And they get noticeably more money for their own homes. Well, why is that then? Well, when you're selling your own home, all the money comes to you, so you want to sell for as much as possible. If you're selling other people's homes, like imagine I can sell your house for a reasonable price and I will get £10,000. Okay, but if I spend months and months selling your house, waiting for just the right buyer, I might be able to get 12,000. Okay, well that'll be good for you, obviously, because 12,000 is just my little cut. You're getting a lot more money. But I would much, much rather sell your house this week for £10,000 and then sell someone else's house next week for £10,000. If I'm selling a house a week for £10,000, I'm making way more money than if it takes me months and months to sell a house for £12,000. So an estate agent is highly motivated to sell your house as long as he gets a reasonable amount of money for it and doesn't harm the price of houses in general. He gets a reasonable amount of price of money as quickly as possible. Your motives and your estate agents do not perfectly align. In fact, as psychologists have found out, no two people's motives perfectly align at all. Not even your identical twin brother. You have an identical twin brother brought up in the same household, but he wants more of your parents' attention and resources than you get. His motivation and yours are not in perfect alignment. You may be part of a group, part of a family, part of a sports team, whatever it is. Company, and what's good for the company, for the family, for the team, for the group is good for everyone, right? So no, that's what they'll tell you. But in fact, something could be good for your family as a whole, but not good for you as an individual. But everyone else in your family will be saying, come on, you do it for the family, you do it for what we all win together, right? No, sometimes no. No two people on earth have exactly aligned motivations. So what am I saying? Trust no one. No, I'm not saying that. In fact, most people are just trying to get by, and they're quite nice really and quite cooperative because, well, they have to be to get by with other people. So yes, most people are making their way through life perfectly reasonably, and you're going to have to get on with them anyway, so you may as well try to do it as best you can. All I'm saying is that if anyone uses the argument that my motives and yours are the same, they are possibly lying, and they're certainly wrong. So just be a little bit wary.